Dark Nexus. Tonight, it's Act 3, Chapter 135. Picking back up on the morning of the 28th of Chthona in the immediate aftermath of the druid fight. We're all on the deck amidst a bunch of corpses. Dabwick is leaning over Lynn, who just almost walked through that door into the River of Souls, but was yanked back at the last second by Dabwick. Lynn's looking up at Dabwick with his kind of pudgy little face. Oh, Dabs.
How you doing, friend?
Wow. Thanks for saving me there.
You all right?
You know, that was a wild experience there. I think I am all right. He gets up to his feet, and meanwhile, Din above and on the top of the warped mast is making his way down. Oh, are you okay there? Are you okay there? Yeah, I'm okay. Dabwick, give me a hug there.
Yeah, let's have a hug.
I kind of forgot what it was like there to just fight normal people. You know, this is the kind of stuff that used to happen. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
What you mean?
It's kind of nice. Like, nobody was too scary. No, he's kind of wandering off towards the front of the ship. Skywind, did you see that? I almost died there.
Clearly in shock.
Little bit of shock going on.
Does Dabwick suspect some sanity damage might have affected?
That's just Fargo season 7.
It just seems like he just had an experience that he's working his way through.
Yeah.
In the meantime, everyone's sort of gathering together to take a look at the damage left behind by this encounter with these druids of Handspur, which include a warped mast and a warped rudder.
Ugh.
So Dabwick knows this particular spell that was used on these pieces of wood very, very well, and knows that there's nothing in the nature of, say, a mending or a make whole spell that would actually have anything to do to fix these. It can be unwarped if Dabwick can prep enough warp wood spells to use it to unwarp the wood. Or, as you're sort of assessing the situation here, and Skywin is, giving Lynn the hug that he needs. He's going around getting hugs from everybody. Well, Debs, so is this something you can take care of, or do we need to stop in Riverton?
No, I can take care of this if we can wait until after dusk.
We can wait till after dusk.
Can it be dispelled?
Oh, no, it's an instantaneous spell. Like, the wood has been warped.
Yeah.
So is this a drain on your resources to a level that we should stop for repairs in Riverton, or is this something you're prepared to do?
I'm prepared to do, but it will slow down the healing that I'm trying to do with my friends.
Well, let me level with you, Debs.
Yes.
This is not an encounter by any stretch of the imagination that seems to have anything to do with whatever it is you're involved with. And as you know from a way up here, these types of cultists are not unknown on the river. I would consider it within the realm of normal responsibilities to have to deal with the aftermath of an encounter like this. So if you're feeling that your spells need to be bent towards the healing of your crew, I'm prepared to stop in Riverton. This would not be taking days out of our path. Just sort of be an extra afternoon. We'd have to cross one of the bays to the south there a bit. Stop in. They are a fishing town. They are a nautical town. They have supplies. They probably might actually even have a rudder for us. And at the very least, now that I think about it, what about this? Can you give me one to fix the mast? Because that's what would take the longest time. We stop in Riverton for another rudder. We might be good to go.
That would work. I also have, to be frank,
Yeah?
I've got something, this pearl, that would allow me to recast warp wood
Oh.
twice without really...
Only one slot expected.
And you could do that this evening after you meditate.
I could do that this evening.
All right, perhaps we lay anchor right here. Stay here for the rest of the afternoon.
And just wait.
And overnight, tonight you'll unwalk this wood. All right, looks like we've got a plan. So she gathers back up with the crew, as I am imagining you all are pawing over these corpses.
Yeah.
Great, as long as we've got a plan, that's what's important, I guess.
Oh yeah, is Grip just wandering back down?
He's wandering aimlessly. When he walks by Gordon Greyjoy's corpse,
Gordon Greyjoy.
he sees the pipe that he had, and he takes the pipe.
Oh
Might as
yeah.
well take up smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, why not? It's he takes the pipe and he.
And he has a little waterproof pouch of tobacco.
Well, I don't know. Does he have? He doesn't. He hasn't smoked before. He was gonna when Stasi gets up, he was gonna bum some off of her for starters. But
he definitely has some. He has some pipe tobacco. So if you want to wait for Stasi to teach you.
I mean, he's gonna try himself first to see. He's not gonna start right out inhaling, but yeah, why not?
If you want to waste it.
It'll pass the time, I suppose. I like the way the embers glow.
So while Grip is contemplating taking up smoking, so we're doing a little bit of detect magic there.
This really
Naz.
is a horror campaign.
Detecting magic, yes.
The 4 druids all had a magical weapon. There's a magical trident, a magical sickle, a magical scimitar, and a magical short spear. Give me a spellcraft check there for Dibs.
That's a 9 on the die for a 17.
They're all +1 weapons. 4 +1 weapons. Grabbable by anybody who might want them, or also imminently usable in enchanting down the road when Vic is done creating insomnia powder.
Yes.
Dora's eyes glance over the +1 sickle.
Then she looks at her arms and is like, too heavy.
It is too heavy for one thing, but also I had a sickle
I know.
for an incredibly long time, never used it.
Johnny, for the loot sheet, you're able to pull a total of 52 gold pieces off of them.
Excellent.
And then they all had holy symbols of Hatspur, which is indeed a rat, and spell component pouches and some rudimentary padded armor. Oh, they each had a vial of alchemist's fire tucked away into their gear. It's a total of 4 alchemist's fire.
Shall we
each
just
take
divvy?
one?
Yeah.
Divvy those
Yeah.
up to 1 to each.
Aye.
As you all are divvying those up, Pumpkin is probably very interested in and curious about these corpses and sort of sniffing eerily at the corpses' mouths, and looking up and mewing a little bit. But then the ship lays anchor and everyone sort of settles in to spend the rest of the, again, not too cold, not too windy, not too overcast, kind of a fairly pleasant winter day out on the lake. It's chilly, but it is not unpleasant at all. So everyone's morning activities were effectively lost. But let's talk about how we want to spend this afternoon. Gripper's coming up to work, I'm guessing.
Yeah, why not? Oh.
Where is it?
I don't know where that went.
Probably appropriate.
Oh, it's wound up. He's not doing too bad. That's a 18 for his day of work.
Perhaps in her own effort to draw Grip out of his funk. Otha is not exactly the most subtle of person. But she is aware, after spending so much of the last few days with the Gripper, that he's not doing well, and she seems a bit shaken by the conversation yesterday. So, we have an opportunity here, sailor. We can contemplate all of these celestial features from a more still and quiet and focused place of mind. And then I have a task for you.
All right. What was that?
Tomorrow, you're going to chart our way out of this bay. Get to work. Do the maths.
Ooh.
I'll be checking your work. And then she starts pacing back and forth, kind of like a drill sergeant.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Very good. And she looks into the hole and winks at Dora like, I got this covered. I'm going to heal this guy myself.
Do
Dora
you do
nods
much
encouragingly.
therapy? Or...
I don't think that's a good idea. This is
Technically, you can't make it worse, but
this is her form of therapy. So Grip's afternoon is spent working. What about Dabs?
Dora, I had an idea. I think you might be interested.
I can't wait to hear it.
What do we know about Pumpkin?
What do we know about Pumpkin? Well, Vic is perhaps more of an expert on this than I am, but I have read the books, I think, about Vedrak. And so she reiterates that he always had a rudder on the ship and always called it Luna. But what we've learned about Pumpkin is that he followed us into the Dreamlands the one time in Arventon, was disinterested in anything but catching rats, and that he was well known by the cats who were trying to take over Igu's Kai's, which is fascinating.
Seem to have been interested fundamentally in Vic as a pack leader.
Yeah.
And known by anyone who follows the way of the nose as a rat eater.
Would you like me to ask Pumpkin some questions? I can speak with animals.
I mean, obviously.
We didn't come here not
That
to
is-
speak with the cat.
That is
I prepared
very
it today
interesting.
on a whim.
So, interesting. So there's an opportunity here to find out what Pumpkin observed with Vedrak, possibly overheard Tima and the others discussing their plans, what they needed, what they didn't need, what they still needed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Assuming Pumpkin's been in...
Pumpkin was with them while they were on Vedrak's ship. It's possible Pumpkin
Right.
overheard something about what they were doing, which might give us a little bit more information to go on with the Mad Poet. So, yes, I think that's a tremendous idea.
I was thinking too, maybe Pumpkin went on one of their excursions with them.
It's possible. But it seems more like was merely part of Vedrak's crew.
Right.
But Tima was there for a time. Who knows what she may have said on the ship, and we know we can't trust her to ask, so...
I'm just going to try to get to know Pumpkin a little and see if maybe we can build up a bit of a rapport before I try talking to her. Or him.
Him.
Yeah, so the vast majority of calico cats are female. And I think to the extent that when I first described the cat, I think I even was gendering the cat female because that would just be the assumption.
Yeah.
But Pumpkin is a rare case of a calico boy cat.
A very special cat.
Very special pumpkin indeed.
So for this afternoon,
So you have that prepared today?
yeah.
So you're gonna, are you gonna go by yourself to find Pumpkin, or are you gonna bring Dora with you after this?
I think this afternoon, if Dora would be interested, we could see if we can get Pumpkin to come to us.
Are you
And
trying to get Pumpkin to give Dora therapy?
no, but I love that idea. Through me as an interpreter.
That's amazing.
Outstanding.
Dora would love to spend the afternoon with you and Pumpkin.
Yeah.
She will
How long does
apologize to Gosa.
How long does
first.
Speak with Animals last?
It's 1 minute per level.
Right, so you got about, what, 8 minutes of
Yeah.
convo?
Yeah.
And before we jump into that conversation, what does Vic's afternoon look like?
Vic would have mixed up his extracts, his remaining 2 extracts, so that he can heal himself. Since he is no longer sleeping, he will not heal normally overnight because he won't be getting bed rest. But he's got it figured out.
Yeah, yeah, it's all going
And
great.
then because he has this clarity and he's not having to sleep and he doesn't have to deal with the dream, he's like,
Hey, Harlar, what do you think? Why don't we cook up this gar? That'd be like a nice fish stew and fish for everybody. What do you think?
Vic, look at the boat. It's empty. Where do you think the gar is? He turns around. The gar is already in there. I'm already working on it, my friend.
I love it.
This is excellent meat.
You got any bits for Pumpkin?
I'm going to reiterate, Vic, this is excellent meat, but yes, I can spare a little bit of this succulent, exquisite meat.
Garflesh.
Garflesh, yes. Yes, you want a little bit for the cat?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you got a little bit of gar meat.
I think that Vic would be sitting in the cabin now with Harlar and Pumpkin and wanting to talk to Harlar about dreams.
So when we're looking for Pumpkin, we'll find Pumpkin with you.
You got it.
Right.
So Pumpkin is busily chewing away at the gar flesh.
Vic,
Yeah, Dabs.
Dora and I were talking about having a conversation with Pumpkin. Asking some questions, seeing what he knows. Is that something you're interested in?
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's a great idea.
I mean, especially if he's going to be popping into our dreams and such, we want to make sure we are on the same page.
Yeah, we got to warn him.
Right,
No, don't go into dreams.
right, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
But maybe Pumpkin knows something.
Maybe Pumpkin knows something. Hey, Grip!
I'm focusing on this. What?
Hey, come on. They got a plan to get
I'm
some
working.
information.
He's
I'm working right
Oh,
now. For fuck's sake.
Oh, sorry.
Stow that request, Sailor Vic. Leave my trainee alone. Thank you.
Got it. Sorry about that. What's he doing?
Sorry, it wasn't my
anyways?
fault. I didn't ask him to do that.
He's charting our course out of the bay.
So at this point, the little orange and white cat is sitting
Like
on its rump,
having a conversation
looking
with us.
like head going, watching you all talk while kind of licking his chops from a little bit of gar meat, the sweet, succulent meat that Harlar gave him. You cast the spell?
Yeah,
Do you cast it on yourself or do you cast it on him?
it's a personal spell, so it's cast on me.
So is this like a standard action spell, or does this require a longer ritual?
It's a standard action,
Okay,
vocal somatic,
great. So very normal spell. It's not involved with
Super.
like scrying or anything.
super normal. Wary and cunning animals are likely to be terse and evasive. But if the animal is friendly towards us, they may just talk to us. So
All right.
That's up to you.
All right.
Hello, Pumpkin. Can you understand me?
You all see the cat's eyes go wide. Well, I absolutely can. How fascinating. We're not dreaming right now, are we?
No, this is magic. I'm so pleased to speak with you. I'm Dabwick, yes?
I know who you are.
Yes.
You're the expert ratter.
That's right, friend. That's right.
I haven't seen you provide many rats whilst on this vessel.
We haven't encountered any, have we? No. If we get to docking our ship somewhere, maybe that's something we can remedy.
You're stopping very infrequently, it seems to me. Remember, Dabwick, the more docks you stop at, the more rats make their way onto the vessel, and then the more rats Vic and I eat.
Were you very lucrative ratter on Vadrak's ship?
I tell you, I came aboard it was a giant city, Dilathleen, do you know of it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I followed what seemed to be a parade. A literal parade of rats towards this vessel. As the ship was docked there, I could not resist. I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, but I ate like a king, Dabwick. I ate like... And the cat's drooling a little bit somehow. Those of you that can't understand this conversation just see this look of like absolute animal hunger and salivation come over this cat's face. Why do you ask?
When you say,
Why are you making that face at me? Don't you eat rat?
no, my friend, I do not eat rat.
More for me and Vic then.
And you're sure about Vic being a rat eater?
Hey, I heard my name. What'd you say?
Sniff him.
Pumpkin knows that you've eaten rat.
Oh, yeah. I like it when it's crispy.
Pumpkin was just telling me that he followed a swarm of rats onto Vadrak's ship in Dilathleen. Do you want to ask any questions about Dilathleen?
No, I was wondering if he knew how well known he is among the cats of Igu's Kais.
Bumpkin, are you aware of how well known you are among the cats of Igu's Kais?
It's very kind of you to bring this up, Debwick. I try to be as humble as I can, but I have had adventures in my time.
We only have 8 minutes. Find out about as many of us as we can.
Your reputation, then, is known among the cats of the Dreamlands.
Well, it should be. I have walked every continent of the Dreamlands. I have sailed every sea. I have walked every island. I have crawled through the corridors of every palace in Celophaeus. I have skirted the edges of the charnel gardens of Zura. There were no rats there, though, so, you know.
Has he ever met the mad poet?
Have you ever met the mad poet?
That is a journey I do not know how to take. I'm not well equipped to cross a desert, and very few dreamers make that journey for me to follow them. He is in a place that is very difficult to reach, Debwick. How do you know of him?
It is our destiny to find this mad poet.
Debwick, do not go there. Whatever you do, do not go there. You will not return. Debwick. He lives where the dreaming ends. Your mind goes there. It's impossible to say what will happen to your mind when it tries to return. I know these are complicated ideas for a simple halfling to process. Your kind, your two-legged kind.
Yes.
Well, you see very little and you understand very little, but hear me when I say, Debwick, do not go to the mad poet. If you value your life, if you value your mind, if you value yourself, sweet Debwick, do not go.
Oh, you were very kind and very patient with me, and I appreciate it. We are doing what we can to prepare ourselves for this journey, and it is a journey we must make.
Very good. Tell me, when are you going?
Would you come with us?
Absolutely not. I ask when you're going so that I can be as far from the ship as possible.
Well,
Can I hook a ride with you to... Are you going anywhere before then? Where else are you going? Debwick, tell me, where are you going?
we are on our way to Casimir.
In the dreamlands.
You do not understand me. I mean the Dreamlands.
Our journeys will take us first to Sarnath and finally Dilathleen.
Oh, well, there's the answer. Take me with you when you go to Dilathleen. I'll hop off and find the next vessel, to which swarms of rats are drawn.
Ask if he knows anything about the Mad Poet's gifts.
We've been gathering together items, artifacts, to give as gifts to the Mad Poet.
Oh, that is a wise idea.
When we arrive, do you know of this custom, of this practice, and what these gifts are?
I know it is said that one must do that, yes.
And are you aware of what lies in Sarnath?
We avoid Sarnath. There is something there you must not behold. Not nearly as dangerous as the Mad Poet, but perhaps even more dangerous to your fragile mind.
Yes, I appreciate the warning.
Do you understand the concept of revenge, Debwick?
I know of revenge, yes.
What's he talking about?
He's asking me about revenge. Do we know about revenge?
Is he suggesting that something might take revenge against us if we go to Sana or Dilathleen.
He knows about the curse.
This is related to Sana.
If our other selves have been there before, he might know of it.
Pumpkin, do you know if do you know if they did something before in Sana?
Did something? This is a place I avoid, Damwick. This is a place where the concept of revenge has taken flesh.
Pumpkin, would you be
Our time is up.
open to speaking with me again? I can no longer understand, Pumpkin.
What's the last thing he said?
That Sarnath was a place where revenge was made flesh.
Sounds delightful.
The Dreamlands is cursed, and we will not sleep again until we die.
So, talking about the futility of existence, Grip back there with all of his charts and books doing maths is watching the rest of the party talk to a cat.
Doing wonders for his sanity, I'm sure.
Eagerly standing over a cat while Dadwick meows.
I wish I was talking to a cat. This is harder than
Oh yeah, and that's what your experience would be, Dadwick, for 8 minutes, meowing and hissing and spitting and
Scratching
and
fussing.
yeah, sort of taking on feline behavior even. But obviously, lesson learned. Does seem as though Pumpkin is happy to chat.
Right. Pumpkin holds no ill will against us and is looking for us to take them to Dilathleen
Yeah, looking to hitch a ride.
when it's our turn to go again.
Why do they want to go to Dilathleen?
That's where they want to return. That's where they came from, and that's where they want to return.
Well, that's our last stop before the Mad Poet, so that's easy enough. Assuming we're not all dead.
What strikes me is the warning of what we might encounter in Sana and how it would affect us. I think it might be best for us to wait a while before we return to our adventures, my friends.
Why?
I don't think we're mentally prepared for what's coming.
Well, Dora's fine.
Certainly
Grip is a little down, but
Grip is more than a little down, Vic.
well, he has realized about the Dreamlands. It's a hard thing to come to face with.
That spell that you prepared, Vic, that you took for yourself, that I tried on you yesterday,
Yeah, works like a charm.
it works great.
Yeah.
I think, would you be willing to take some time, a number of days, and cast that spell on yourself?
Oh yeah, no, I'm casting it every day. That way I don't have to sleep.
Right,
Perfect.
right. And how will you go to the Dreamlands if you can't sleep?
In the Dreamlands, we can fix what we did wrong.
How do you think we can do that?
We can try to leave it better than we left it.
The first time, you mean?
Yeah,
It's an intriguing idea.
yeah.
Did we do that when we went back to the Enchanted Forest? Did we leave things better?
Yeah, we did.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
So there is some hope.
There is some hope, but
Everybody looks at Robert.
there is some hope, but
I don't know what you're talking about. I never agreed to anything you said about the Dreamlands, just to be fucking clear. I don't agree. I don't agree with what you say.
he's still trying to come to terms with it.
No, don't tell me what I'm thinking. You're telling me what I'm thinking. I'm sitting here and telling you what you say happened, I say, is not right. Now, let me get back to this. Carry
Let's
the
leave
one.
Grip to his work.
Sorry, Otha, didn't mean to interrupt his maths.
I believe I've made my feelings clear. Leave this sailor to do his work.
We were just in here talking.
Katz's like, all right, just calm down there. Everything's fine. Let's not aggravate Grip any further by continuously yelling around him.
I think we should go as soon as possible. I think we have to try to get in there and fix it.
I'm going to try and hold you off as long as I can. And I say that out of love and with care. You are not well.
I see everything very clearly.
I know you feel that way. I'm not prepared to go down into the Dreamlands with you in this state. Not for your health, not for my own.
I'm inclined to agree with Dabwick, Vic. I'm sorry.
You're both scared. I see.
I don't want it to be a conflict between us, but I'm not going to the Dreamlands with you until we're better.
Well, I don't think I'm inclined to perform the ritual until Dabwick is comfortable.
Thanks, Dora.
I mean, I'm fine.
Of course you are.
But if Dabs is not
But
comfortable...
Dabs and Grep.
Of course you are.
Grip takes his books. He's like, I can't sit here anymore, but I don't trust a thing that doesn't sleep. And he goes up top to work to keep doing his work.
Yes, a little bit out of earshot.
Yes.
Can't listen to this anymore.
This is a delightful dynamic we've created.
This is wild. So then Dabwick, I'm guessing, probably walks away from that conversation, having actually laid down, not an ultimatum, but a statement of...
Just a boundary.
This is a boundary for me. Dora has upheld it. Vic seems to, for the moment, have understood, at least, that boundary has been set. We'll see what happens. The rest of this afternoon, so Vic is hanging out with Harlar. Dora is... I think we're at the point with all of this stuff going on. We're not going to get any journal reading done today. And as we head into the late afternoon, what would be the end of the second shift, Dabwick can meditate for spells. You're going to prepare those warp woods?
Going to prepare warp woods. Going to also confer with Skywind to make sure Alter Winds is going to be necessary, that we're going to keep doing the same pattern of...
I would say, if you need space for tomorrow is one day where, out in a lake like this, and since we've lost half the day, if you want to skip it for tomorrow, but it'll be very useful when we're back on the Cellin after that. So if you want to skip a day, you absolutely can.
Thanks, my friend.
I don't think we'll make up enough time to make it worth it if you need to negotiate your resources.
Well, between the ship and my friends, I'm quite strapped for resources, so I'm going to try to do my best.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Dabwick, I know it seems like the weight of the world's on your shoulders right now. She just gives you a little squeeze. You got this.
Couldn't do it without you. Thanks.
They couldn't do it without you.
Oi.
You're going to pull them through this.
Oi.
We head on towards dinner time as we gather for our daily limerick.
Hey everybody, Stanhope Nixon here.
Hey, I had a near-death experience when you were sleeping.
What?
I had a near-death experience. Do you have a limerick about a near-death experience there?
Not...
I'm sorry, I've thrown the artistic process. Sorry, as you were.
Do you need healing?
I'm great.
Okay.
I'm great.
Stasi yawns and lights a cigarette.
Well, I've never taken requests before, but this is, close.
Oh, great.
All right,
Hey, Dan, it's almost gonna be about what happened to me.
I can't wait.
well, the first was a girl with blue eyes and a chest of voluminous size. But their drinks that she spilled, triangled, weren't thrilled. At night I can still hear her cries.
Utter silence in the room.
And Lynn bursts out bawling. He is uncontrollably sobbing.
Yeah.
And he's holding his brother. He's like, I don't think I'm actually okay. That was really scary. And Den's like, it's okay. We got, don't, Stanhope, it's not your fault. It's okay. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. I'm so scared. It's okay there. Stanhope, it's okay. Thank you. I got this. Come on, brother.
You guys really have to tell me what happens when we wake up.
Didn't know the vibe of the room here.
Grip,
I didn't even know there was a fight.
When that one ends, Grip just walks by the Lynn and Din and goes, "That one made me fucking sad too." And he goes back up. He goes out to the deck to look at the water. Gives them a little hug and goes out to look at the water and smoke.
So as Grip is smoking, standing at the rail, Stazi's probably nearby as well. They can watch as Dabwick concentrates, and this gigantic warped mass just completely straightens back out on its own. And then the rudder, which had been twisted into kind of almost a corkscrew shape, is magically returned to perfect functionality. Otha is, of course, giddy with excitement. Skywind comes by and gives him a little pat on the shoulder. Taking care of business.
That is something. That is really something.
Dabwick pockets the pearl of power that they used for the second Warpwood spell.
Mm-hmm. And then those of us whose names don't begin with V sleep overnight? Is Vic... Oh, since he's not sleeping, and since both of the day's work shifts were interrupted, Vic can use the whole night to finish off that insomnia powder.
Absolutely.
Give me a craft alchemy check there, 100%. My friend. Everything's going great.
Strain your brain even more.
Absolutely. All right, let's see here.
Not just staying up, but working on highly technical and explosive things.
That is a 31. And I'm going to spend a point of inspiration.
You got to hit... Did you get to a 35?
Nope.
Got an action point?
I'm out of action points.
What was your total?
32.
Oh God, it's so close. You're gonna have to finish. You're gonna have to finish the next day. So we're at.
Does that mean you can't take it?
Yeah, correct. It's not complete. He has completed 56 out of 60 gold pieces worth of the crafting. So close.
Oh, this isn't something you have to craft every day in order to stay up all night. You're just staying up all night.
He's just staying up all night. And then this will, I think, force him to stay up. So anyways.
So if I start to fall asleep in an emergency, I could simply take this and it would make me stay awake for another 24 hours.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
We are coming up, I believe, on 1 month to the seedborn consumption check that we all have to
We are a matter of
to make. Days, right?
2 days away from Barnabas having to make his save. And then Grip, Dora, and Vic are 2 days after that. These deadlines of the seedborn consumption are approaching. And, you know, it has felt, you know, we're feeling him in our minds every night. Mm-hmm. But
Not me.
We managed to, except for those of us that are sleeping, we managed to fight off the physical effects either through the power of our physical strength or through the aid of magic last month. But yeah, I think getting to this point, a couple days out from the turn of that 30-day mark, this is probably when Barnabas is starting to feel
a little run down, little scattered,
a little feverish occasionally.
A little itchy.
Yeah, a little hot, a little weirdly hot. So we sleep overnight with Jamandor, everybody except for Vic. And we pick up the next day. We take in the anchor, and in the early morning hours, Otha will remind Grip that in the afternoon he's going to be helping with setting. He is going to attempt to take a first stab at charting the course down towards the Selen River. Everyone around understands pretty clearly that she's not going to walk away and see where you all turn up, but she's really going to try to see what happens if she turns this over to him.
And I think he's nervous about it, and I think maybe reflective of that. Okay, he lost 1 point of that sanity damage. He's not just curled up in a ball all day today.
Yeah,
his general outlook hasn't improved, but he's around people, and he's like, even though it's not his shift yet, he's going over all the stuff she's given him, just because he's a little nervous, even though failure has really no fucking repercussions, because it's all coming anyway. But it would be nice to do good, I suppose.
And for Gripper, as the day wears on and we get to that afternoon shift where she's going to put the rudder in your hands, And now you've got this whole new pastime that you're delving into with the pipe smoking. This is also when Stasi would get up, and I can imagine the two of them near the back there, at least at the beginning, Stasi sharing at least her first cigarette with him as he's smoking.
It's nice to have someone to smoke with.
I don't know. I like. There's something about the pipe that I find reassuring, even though it was a fucking asshole that had it before me. I don't know. I like it. It's comforting.
It's good to find things that are comforting.
Yeah, I like to look at the ember glow when you breathe in. I find that calming.
It's nice to see when you are making a difference in the world, even if it is very small.
I suppose that's true.
You have seemed pretty down of late, my friend. I hope you don't mind me saying so.
No, I don't. It just feels like it doesn't even matter what we do because we're too fucking small to make a difference.
It's funny you should say that. That is what I believe. That the world will play out the way it will play out, whatever we do. But I don't look at it the same way as you. I take comfort in that. I can't make a wrong decision in that way. I am only making the decisions that have already been laid out for me. I am checking boxes. Feels good. Complete tasks. Do my work. Like you do your work. Here on the ship.
I can see the appeal of that. Sometimes it's hard though. You don't know what good could I possibly do that would make up for the evil I have done.
Yeah, that is difficult. That is really difficult. But you can't change what you have already done. And if you believe, as I believe, that it all comes out the way it is supposed to in the end, then by very nature of you doing it and wanting it to be right and good, then it is.
So Grip's shift today is unusual in that he's not running around, he's not climbing up and down, he's not hauling things. He's been asked to basically stand in one place, hand on the rudder, and hold the course that he has set. Is Stasi...
yes, let's
she's hanging out?
maximize that metaphor.
I think she's hanging out with him.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with this being some simultaneous work shift and therapy. I need a couple of rolls. Let me get
God, I don't want to mess this one up.
Let me get that therapy check from Stasi, and then we'll get a profession sailor check from Robert. I can't wait to do that.
I really, really, really want to get this one.
I really want to win.
I really want to win this therapy.
I'm tracking therapy points and I want to crush it.
24.
24.
Really good. I think critical success clears all of the... Well, it does clear all of the...
It does clear the remainder of Grip's sanity damage. By the end of this day's shift, Gripper, regardless of what happens to the boat because of his of his handling of the rudder, regardless of what happens to the boat...
Can it also be an aid check to his profession check?
Okay, all right. +2 on your profession sailor check there.
Alrighty, so he puts his hand on the rudder. He's got the trust that the learning is going to stick.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
That's a 19 on the die for a 26.
Oh my God, I
Amazing.
love that.
Oh, we really needed this.
Oh, I love that. So, Otha does actually, sort of, you can see her sort of skirting around the edges, peering around the corner for the first chunk of the shift. But then, as she sort of takes a gauge off of what Grip's doing, you can see her out with some tools, and she sits down a little bit with Katzen. The two of them pull some of their tools out on the front of the boat where Grip can't see, do a little bit of checking. Eventually, Otha does walk away. and spends the afternoon in the cabin with Skywin and Veldee chatting to the two of them, and leaves Stasi alone with the Gripper as Gripper successfully navigates us across this open bay in open water. I mean, land is occasionally in sight, but he's having to avoid some of these very shallow patches, and he has a very successful, low risk, but very successful day.
We both rolled a 19.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you know what? The stars are actually really fucking pretty.
Yes, they are. Yes, you're finishing up as you're finishing up is when the stars are coming into full bloom and you lay anchor for the night. That is wonderful.
Pinholes in the curtain of night.
So Grip is dormant. There is no mechanical crunch for this madness at dormancy, so the stuff you didn't even know because I hadn't said it out loud yet is no longer in effect.
Okay.
But let's remember that it still exists when you next take sanity damage, because I'm probably going to forget.
Yes.
But so he's not healed, but he has begun the process. So what does Dabwick's day look like? We know they're going to work their morning shift. How do they spend their afternoon while Grip is successfully doing his first day of navigation?
When does Dora doing her
You work on that journal in the morning, so while you're...
reading lessons?
That's sort of interspersed.
Intermittent.
So Dora spends that morning chunk working on the journal. Dora is at 5 of 7. Barnabas would also be at 5 of 7. Great, wait. And then Dabs is looking for Dora after she's done with that?
Yeah, Dabs is going to look for Dora and ask, would you be willing to spend a little time just with the two of us?
Oh, of course.
Let's go up deck and take a look out over the water as we sail.
I'm so pleased you asked. I really enjoy spending time with you, Dabwick.
Likewise.
This is Dabwick's opening a door to some therapy. Is that what Dabs is attempting here?
Yes.
Fantastic. So yeah, as demonstrated, Dora and Dabs have done a little bit of bonding over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Between the scrying and the conversation about Pumpkin and so forth. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll that up.
Dora really feels that Dabwick appreciates and understands her a little bit more
Yeah.
than she thought.
And what am I rolling? A wisdom check?
Yep.
That's a 9 on the die for a 14.
Can you get it to a 15?
I have 1 action point left.
Great use for it. Throw your resources away.
Might as well.
She deserves it.
She deserves it. Yes, so that's a 19.
By the end of this day, the 29th, Dora is also dormant. Let me double check to see if that gets rid of your crunch. Yes, it looks like you can turn off those.
Turning it off. Oh, I'm not dazzled anymore either, huh?
Not dazzled. Dazzled by the therapy. And then Vic's day. I know Vic's day is going to begin with a lesser restoration so that
Yep.
he can continue on his day 3 without sleep.
Yes.
God.
Oh, that's 2 points.
Great.
What are you at, 11? What are you
Vic is at 11. And I assume that this day, we'll leave the others to do a little bit of strategizing. But by the end of this day, he did not finish the powder. What's the powder?
The insomnia powder.
He did not finish the insomnia powder. Is he going to spend the rest of this day finishing that up?
Well, he wants to go and talk to Harlar.
Oh yeah.
Whenever Harlar would be awake and around and stuff, but whenever that was not, he would then take that time to finish the insomnia powder.
Well, how about this? Why don't we picture Vic spending the morning shift after having spent 8 hours not sleeping and working on the insomnia, realizing, hey, it's a new day. I don't have to sleep. Finishing off the insomnia powder then and heading upstairs in the afternoon.
Love it.
Great. So why don't you
Love
go
it.
ahead and give me that craft alchemy check.
Gotta say, never in a million years did I think I would be crafting insomnia powder.
You and me both, brother.
That is a 24, and I'm going to blow a point of inspiration. And that's a 6 on the die for a 30.
Dose complete. Put it on your sheet.
Insomnia powder.
And then you're spending the afternoon chatting with Harlar about dreams. Now, he is still working. There's a lot of work to do on this gigantic gar that he's probably still working up for. Oh, he's working to prepare it for a New Year's Eve feast. That's what he's doing. So he's hard at work on this, but it is Unlike some days where he's having to do a little bit of running around and running down to the hold to get stuff and back and forth, he's doing a little bit more of focused work in place. So if you're picturing yourself sitting and hanging out with Harlar and chatting about dreams, he is always willing to go off at the mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I imagine Gull. I imagine Vic. Gull. God,
that was a great slip.
I imagine Vic came in because he was hungry and he's like, eating like a gar sandwich or something like that.
Oh, not yet. He has not distributed the gar. No. He's working on it.
But he's like,
has had a taste.
Hey, while I got you here,
yeah.
We've been doing this thing where we go to the Dreamlands. And I know how you're big on Desna, Lady of Dreams, and when we went there before, our previous selves, they did some bad things there, and I'm pretty sure we broke it. And now in my dreams, death chases me.
Here's the thing about Desna. Her realm is pure chaos.
Yeah.
The thing, Vic, the thing is, it's always changing. Her realm is pure imagination. Now there's certainly, I can only imagine, things one could do to cause a different kind of change, but what really is the difference between two kinds of change in a place where all that exists is change? And she's prone to taking many forms, my friend. I don't know if you know this about her, but we like to depict her as a butterfly, but that's not the only way she appears. She can appear as anything.
What else can she appear as?
I don't know. Next time you stare down the barrel of that specter of death, what if it's her trying to send you a message, send you a warning? In which case, it's not death talking to you, it's Desna talking to you.
It's Desna talking to me.
All right, take your fish. Wait, can you actually go visit Desna?
I don't know. I mean, when we go to the Dreamlands, it's a place where you're there.
I need you to look into this. We'll have to have a conversation about this.
Okay.
So this is an afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a therapy check here. I don't know if it's gonna result in, but 20! Natural 20! All right, you got 1 point back.
Yes.
1 point.
That's why I was.
But did you also get some for your? Oh, you
got
rolled
2.
Right,
Yeah.
you got 2.
Which brings Vic down to 10.
Nice.
Hey, that's 10 points down. Halfway there.
Yeah.
Living on a prayer.
Can I give therapy while I'm dormant?
You can give therapy while you're dormant.
I wonder what that dormancy looks like.
Yeah, that's a decision for both of you. Because it's not like you've shaken it off. You've just got to the point where you are able to function.
Yeah.
Despite what's going on in your brains.
Belief.
Yeah, so...
It's not like a seed of doubt. Is it?
It could be questions.
Yeah.
It could be questions.
I think maybe spending all this time with Dabs,
Mm-hmm.
she remembers asking to scry on Tima, and suddenly that feels like a weird question to have, a weird thing to have asked. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It did work. That was just me.
And suddenly, instead of just accepting the logic that this makes sense as fact, trying to work
It's
through
kind
it,
of
and
like,
then it's like,
why do I
wait,
have these?
Why did I ask that?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, it
so
made
I think
sense,
it is
but
a level of
but why
doubt.
did it? Yeah, a little doubt is creeping in.
Yeah.
And how do you think it looks for Gripper? It's so different than, back in the phobia days where it was like, it's kind of happening or not. This is a much more gradual change.
Just in terms of how it manifests from his perspective.
Yeah, like where does it leave his mood and his functionality?
I think it's just like a weight has been removed from him. I think when he had that moment standing in front of the Gug, when he assumed he was dead.
Yeah.
it was just this weight of ineffectuality, and that there's nothing he could ever do that would be enough, so there's no point, right? So that has been weighing him down, and that looking through that lens has made everything just seem like shit. And I think it just feels like, I think the combination of the talking with Stasi and hearing her take on that feeling of insignificance not being the worst thing in the world, I think getting that perspective and getting the win of succeeding at this task that is unlike anything he's been given before. This task had nothing to do with strength like the pole did, or
not at all,
or any kind of physical ease, the knots or whatever. I think that just it has lifted that weight off of him, and it's like the stars seeming pretty again and not horrific. I think has just made him. Yeah, it just he feels lighter and a little brighter.
So that was the 29th. We've gotten the vast majority of this party back on their sanity feet. As we look at what happens on the 30th, so Vic spent the afternoon the previous day talking with Harlar about Desna. Where's that leaving him? What's his brain on as we hit this next day?
He is really intrigued by this idea of, going to the Dreamlands. Like, is there a way to actually connect to Desna? And this idea of trying to change the story in his mind. Mm-hmm. Like this idea of, like, if the Dreamlands is all chaos, can it even really be broken?
Right.
If her realm is constant change, we changed it, but that change isn't necessarily bad or good. It's just it just is. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's not as much responsibility there as he thinks, but he wants to investigate more. So I think he wants to go and talk to Stasi, because she would be the other religious person on the ship, and see what her take is about Desna. And obviously she's not a follower of Desna, but she still is going to have more information than anybody else.
Yeah. Also, sort of dealing with your significance in the world and how much you can affect change. And she's kind of an expert on that.
Yeah.
He would have taken another lesser, and that's another 2 points.
And now you haven't slept for how many nights?
That's the third night of not sleeping. Keeping your body going with the magic of lesser restoration, and we'll see. We're veering towards trying to get him cured here, but I'm gonna put my head on
have a
for
little clock.
Future possibility too of like how I mechanically handle what happens with your brain, the breakdown. But let's go ahead and roll some therapy for Stasi for the 30th of Kuthona.
Oh. No, I'm sorry, it was a 9.
Okay.
She's not a Desnan.
So you don't know anything about her where she resides in the power of the dream?
You want to go see her?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just
Vic.
investigating possibilities.
Here's the 9. Vic, I don't think Desna even knows you exist.
Oh God.
She doesn't know I exist.
They don't think so.
Look, I've been cut out of the dream altogether. She can't even perceive me.
Vic.
She doesn't know I exist.
She doesn't know I exist. She doesn't know any of you exist. She is a god. She has far more bigger things to deal with.
No, I think you're right. She doesn't know I exist.
Make a sanity check.
It's a great day. It's a great day for Vic. During the course of this time, the Starling makes its way down the south end of Callus Lake and out and onto the actual mighty Selen River. Almost twice as wide as when you were on the glass. Very, very fast-moving current. You are now at where 3 major rivers all of which have about 5 or 7 tributaries each, all conjoin to get to this one waterway, which then flows all the way south down to Starbay, down to Casimir, and into the inner sea.
This is the last leg?
This is the last leg.
I mean, it's a big one.
The last body of water before
Yes,
Casimir.
Before Casimir.
it is. And even though, it has taken us at this point, as we pick up on the last day of the year, the 31st of Chthona, day 51 on the boat, we're going to make the rest of that trip probably in less than half the time.
Wow.
Purely because of the fact that we are now on a fast-moving waterway in a vessel whose entire design is based on exploiting exactly this kind of river right here. So, it was doing very good on the glass, obviously. We picked up a lot of speed on the glass. All that time spent on these lakes was just not what this kind of like slow-moving, shallow little barge was intended to do. But you're now entering the actual home of this vessel. We're going to talk a little bit about the last day of the year. There's some interesting different religious observances and cultural observances that are tied into this day in Golarion, and we will pick up this last day of the year next time. That's the end of chapter 135. Dark Nexus is produced by Plug and Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's Paizo.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Syrinscape. Check them out at Syrinscape.com. That's Syrinscape.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Derek, Darren, Michaela, JH, the Biscuit Buddies, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration.
You know what we're fighting here? We're fighting a couple 2-tree tigers.
Hey-o.
Is that a reference to something?
No, it's just, it's like the Chicago 3, but it's a couple 2-tree tigers.
two
couple
trees.
2-tree tigers over by there.
Oh, tree tigers.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah, see?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks for taking the time to explain it to
That's
me.
the sign of a good joke.